Alright, Facebook peeps, what's up? Again, another disclaimer to start it off here. If you don't care about Kentucky politics, exit this video, go ahead and move on to the next thing. So yeah, had a quick day in Frankfort today. I was only met with like 3 reps, but got a lot of movement and a lot of other notification about votes and that kind of thing regarding HB 51. So at this point, I think we're sitting a solid, like, I don't know, thing near like 50 votes on here. So like this, we're getting into crunch time where we're going to have to find our next 5, 6, for sure's. And I'm trying to be conservative. So if I don't know for sure they are a yes, I'm trying to like leave it alone on here. So we are approaching 50 absolute yeses on this bad boy. So that's good news. So don't everybody be thinking it's dead and all that stuff. So yeah, so we're looking good there. I'm actually going back down tomorrow. I don't want to go down on Friday, but I'm also ready to get back to handling my actual business and making some money. So I'm gonna try to get this thing over the finish line here. But it means that the final round of email pushes and all that stuff. You'll be checking out our little groups that we're all a part of here in Jefferson County and all the other counties, surrounding counties, and counties around the state, regarding which reps we really got to inundate with emails and calls and requests for support and that kind of thing. But before that, just in case everyone starts going into the bill itself, HB 51, and reading through it and thinking they don't understand what it's trying to do, I'd like to try to go through some of that. So, because there have been major changes and there's 10 amendments in there now, and some people may be wondering what the heck is happening. So, really, the only amendment that even needs to be looked at is Amendment 10. So, Amendment 9 was a change from its main sponsor, Lynn Beckler, but Amendment 10 includes those changes and then adds in Josh Callaway's changes. So it's just Amendment 10 would be exactly all the primary sponsors' language in addition to what we were trying to get added in there. So Amendment 10 is the whole shebang there. So, but the language matters, the language change matters. Some people wondered about some things that were removed, and so I've been trying to prepare people all along that one of the big deals on this is I'm trying to rally people around like students, like people in these public buildings that are public school students, and people that are on buses, and people that are in the buildings owned by the government. It's like, whereas when we talk about daycares and child cares, I mean, even though we all think about it that way, they are actually private businesses. And so they actually removed the original Section 2 in there that would have extended all of the mandate bans to daycare. They had to remove that. So the business crowd, the free market crowd, I'm understanding they weren't going to get there with that section in there. So it's still, what it still does is it protects private daycares, childcare centers. They cannot be like subject to retribution when it comes to applying for their licensing application to start a daycare or childcare, and they can't be retaliated against for not requiring masks when they're going for the recertifications and all that. And obviously, I don't own a daycare, so I don't know what all that entails. But we all know at the beginning of all this, the health department became the COVID Gestapo and was going after businesses for not doing certain things. So it still does protect child cares and government overreach and being able to wield the the gavel on their head or whatever you want to say. So yeah, sorry, I went offline for a second. So if it went away and you missed something, just let me know. Section 2 now begins the language that we wanted to get put in there. So now Section 2 is the section that would protect K through 12 students, okay? And you'll notice it no longer just deals with the facial coverings. It's things we can't look at this as a mask bill, because then this whole local control crowd actually has an argument to make if we were leaving certain powers with the school board and taking away others, so my whole philosophy has been, let's look at this as a relinquishment of power, not a reallocation of it. So this bill would now protect all K through 12 students, as well as K through 12, anyone in K through 12 buildings, guests or anything like that, couldn't be required or forced to wear any type of medical device. So including but not limited to facial coverings. But the next strain of COVID might require you to wear earmuffs or something. You know what I mean? So they can't require you to use any type of medical device. It protects everyone from any kind of forced submission to medical treatments or procedures. So I know in Jefferson County we're really worried about the fact they're still forcing us to do quarantines that are twice as long as the CDC guidelines. Well, this moves us past the metrics and CDC and all that crap. It just says you can't force people to submit to medical testing procedures. When I guess the quarantine really would be any blanket healthcare recommendations, which is the third bullet point. So B actually would like end testing, required testing, test to say, test to play, all that gone, and it would end any kind of fear of like all the children being required to get this one shot. So it doesn't open it up for everything else. I know everyone else, I've had a lot of people been mad about that they wanted to say they ain't got to get, they don't ever have to do anything. And like, listen, if that's a fight you want to take up, I respect your right to do that. I'm just trying to, I got kids that are 2, 4, 6, and 8 years old. They're in like an imminent situation where I don't want them having to worry about these things right now in the here and now. So this bill would get us back to where we were at pre-COVID, before all these mandates started kicking in. Superintendents would have the powers they had before. School boards would still have the power they had before. Like, this isn't the time to fight these things where we're trying to get these big, widespread, you know what I mean? Like, but it certainly can be a stepping stone to those things and set the precedent that the government's getting out of the healthcare business. All right, so like, we can't cut off our nose to spite our own face. You know what I'm saying? I'm on everybody's team here. I'm just like, I'm not a politician. I absolutely pushed for everything that we could possibly get to the fullest extent of it. So, but when you're emailing these people, let's think about, instead of using these politicized words, mask and vaccine and all, like, for me, this isn't a negative thing. I don't hate school board members. I don't hate superintendents. My mom is a retired school teacher. Like, I believe most if not all of these people, minus maybe one on our JCPS board, is a good person at heart, and they care about our kids. We all know our teachers do. And most of these superintendents, especially on these rural counties, these places, they like their superintendent. So like, again, we can look at reform and all that stuff, and I'm not even saying I'm on board with that. What I'm saying is, right now in this, what we're trying to get done, I'm just trying to get us to pre-COVID to where kids can go back to being kids and stop being the political pawns of the right and the left, and can smile at each other and have fun, and let us battle it out in the alley behind the bar on our own time. That's my goal at this point. So, like, some of the reps wanted to only say COVID-19 in this bill, but the variance thereof thing, to me, like, makes it to where it at least takes away all concerns towards that. Now, I mean, boards, everybody's right. They could turn around and try to start masking for the flu after that. But here's the deal: like, they never did that before. So are they going to admit that they were being morally wrong previously regarding the faith, like wearing masks for flu and all that? We'll have to see. But this bill definitely moves us in that direction to where there is some accountability there. I mean, it would be, if they were to start masking children for the flu, it would be very easy to, the way myself and others that helped me write this amendment wrote it, you could strike out the COVID-19 and variants thereof in an amendment in the next session and make it literally opened up to everything, if they were to go down that road, but I do feel like if we start trying to go towards and acting like every school board and every superintendent and all that is just like what we're dealing with in Jefferson County, we're going to lose the rest of the state. And to me, the rest, like, it's the whole state or it's nothing. Like, I'm from East Kentucky. I got family in Western Kentucky. Like, I'm not out here just trying to lobby for one specific, that my whole my whole spiel has been, let's rally around babies and let's take care of them, and let's regroup and figure out these other things, and like, I've met with Democrats. I don't think anyone's going to vote for it, but like that message that I'm saying there, it's not going to meet the vehement opposition that it's going to if everybody thinks that we're trying to like take down everything a school board has ever been about and assume that every person on a school board and every person on the Board of Education and all is a bad person, So like, I've told them all, like, if your goal is to put your boot on everybody's throat and get one over on the teachers union or whatever, like, I don't even want you to vote for it. That ain't who I am. That ain't what I'm done or talking about. Like, these people are people in our community. And like I said before, I understand why school boards are doing the things they have done, because if the legislature tells you you have the obligation of protecting every individual child in your community's health, how do you morally not do it to the fullest extent and be conservative? I mean, how do you not do it? So like, when you look at it through that lens, that's what I've been saying to these reps. Like, the only way to like not keep these guys, like not have them put this like moral weight on their shoulders, is to just say the legislature doesn't have the power anymore. Neither do y'all. Y'all can go back to doing what you're good at, which is dealing with education and what you voted in and what we trust you with. And superintendents, get back to doing what you've always been doing. Like, and that's the, to me, that's the whole, the whole deal here. So if anybody has any questions or concerns, or if you disagree with what I'm saying, listen, I'm open to anything, but I do feel like I've thought this through from about every angle, and I feel like we've made extreme headway, and we are like, we're on the precipice of this thing like happening. So and if it does, but at the same time, I'm trying to war game it out, and if it does, I want the like message to be positive after that this is why it's happening, that it's happening because it's the only way to heal after all this. It's the only way for the essence of what a school board member is. It's the only way to keep that from changing. I mean, if this is what school boards are going to be doing from here on out, we need to know, because it probably changes who runs for school board. I mean, you're going to need to have some kind of like medical background if you are responsible for every child in your district's healthcare decisions every single day. Like, you can have a doctorate in education, you can have 15 doctorates in education. If you don't have a medical background, like, how can you claim that you are suitable for that position? So again, like, I'm just looking at practicality and playing this thing out in the real world, and I think if everyone will take a deep breath, maybe like take a shot or something, chill out, and like think about what this bill does. It's going to protect our kids. It's going to get them back to normal, and it's going to protect them. Us as parents are going to worry about them making them take a shot that maybe some of us are unsure of. And I know that as far as the rest of the state, if they're concerned about anything, like, that's it. But again, like, I'm not trying to come at it from a negative standpoint and act like vaccines are bad. That's not, like, talking about this one thing. All right, so, love y'all. Thanks for listening. It's actually, and I think it's ridiculous that I would even do a 20-minute video and expect people to give me their time. But I appreciate y'all for listening. Do whatever you're supposed to do to make this video get watched, likes, comments, whatever. It's all silly business. But yeah, if I don't talk to y'all again, everybody have a good weekend. We will update y'all if we have any other updates between now and Monday. See ya.